Hi and welcome to another Carpenter Tutoring tutorial. I'm Amy and today we're going to talk about how to do addition with negative numbers. And we're going to approach this from the perspective of talking about different patterns that emerge when we're combining two different kinds of numbers, whether it's a positive number plus a positive number plus a negative number, or a negative number plus a negative number. So let's jump in and see what we get. Whenever we're adding together two positive numbers, we'll always get a positive answer. So for example, we can think about problems like 3 plus 5, which would give us 8, another positive number. We can also think about things like 132 plus 13, which would give us 145, another positive number. So luckily, this pattern is relatively easy. Two positives added together will give us a positive answer. Let's jump over to the other example we have where both of the numbers we're adding together have the same sign, a negative number plus a negative number. Whenever we're adding together two negative numbers, we'll have a negative answer. The good news is that we can use a pretty simple process to help us answer these kinds of questions. So let's say we had something like negative 3 plus negative 5. What I can do, because both of these numbers are negative, is think about their positive counterparts. So instead of negative 3, I'll think about positive 3. And instead of negative 5, I'll think about positive 5. I'm doing this because I like thinking about positive numbers more. I've used them more often and I'm more comfortable with them. So thinking about positive 3 and positive 5, when I add those together, I would get positive 8. I'll see that I'll have the same numerical value as my answer here, but instead of having a positive answer, I'll have a negative answer. So I can change that answer to a negative 8. Let's see another example with this. Let's say we had something like negative 15 plus negative 2. Once again, because both of these values are negative, I can think about their positive counterparts and work through the problem that way. So instead of thinking of negative 15 and negative 2, I'll think of positive 15 and positive 2. Well, positive 15 plus positive 2 is 17. Negative 15 plus negative 2 is negative 17. Here's where things get a little bit trickier. When we have one of each type of number added together, a positive plus a negative, or a negative plus a positive. In this case, the sign of our answer depends on which value, the positive value or the negative value, is further away from 0. The sign whose number is further away from 0 wins. What I mean by this is, if the positive number is the value out of our pair that's further away from 0, the sign of our answer will also be positive. On the flip side, if the negative number is the value that's further away from 0, our answer will be a negative number. That tells us how to find the sign of our answer, but it doesn't tell us how to find the value of our answer. In order to find the value of our answer, we need to find the difference between the positive versions of both of our numbers. Let's take a look at this in action. Let's say we had a problem like 3 plus negative 5. When I look at my two values, 3 and negative 5, I can see that negative 5 would actually be further away from 0 than 3. That tells me that the negative sign is going to win over my answer, so I can expect to have a negative answer. In terms of finding the number of that answer, I need to think about the difference between 3 and 5. If I start at 3, I need to take 2 jumps to get up to 5. So that tells me that my difference is 2. An important distinction to make here is that, again, when we're thinking about the difference of these values, we think about their positive counterparts. So the 3 stays positive, but the negative 5 becomes a positive 5, just for our consideration of what the difference is. Let's see what happens when the scales are tipped in the opposite direction. Let's say we had something like 8 plus negative 4. In this case, as I look at my values, I see that 8 is further from 0 than negative 4 is. So that tells me to expect a positive answer. When it comes time to find the number of my answer, I have to think about the difference between 8 and positive 4. Well, the difference between 8 and 4 is 4, so that tells me that positive 4 would be the answer to this addition problem. In fact, what we can see is when we start with a positive number plus a negative number, it actually works the same way as subtraction, so we can also think of this as 8 minus 4. These patterns can be really helpful in solving addition problems with positive and negative numbers. But if you don't like them, I also have a video about using visual methods like a number line to help us solve these kinds of problems. So I encourage you to check that out. I also have another video that talks about subtraction with negative numbers, so I highly encourage looking at that one as well. As always, thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. I hope that this has been helpful. If there are any other questions that you'd like to see answered or topics you'd like to see covered, let me know down in the comments. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy my content, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.